It was a warm Saturday afternoon, the kind where the sunlight streamed through the windows and cast golden patterns on the floor. Mom had left for the day to run errands and catch up with her old college friends, giving me the house to myself. At 18, I wasn't exactly a wild teenager. Most of my free time was spent at home, buried in books or occasionally indulging in a secret hobby I hadn't shared with anyone, crossdressing. I'd been fascinated by feminine clothing for as long as I could remember. The way dresses flowed, the intricate designs on blouses, the softness of fabrics, it all felt like stepping into another world, one I could only explore behind closed doors. Mom had no idea, and I intended to keep it that way. That afternoon, with the house empty and quiet, I decided to take a chance. I rummaged through the back of my closet, where I kept a small collection of items I'd purchased online or borrowed from donation piles Mom left out for charity. I pulled out a pastel pink sundress, paired it with white stockings, and slipped on a pair of flats I'd found at a thrift store. My heart raced as I fastened the zipper, the dress fitting snugly around me. I brushed out a wig I kept hidden in a shoebox, a sleek bob in a honey blonde shade, and carefully positioned it on my head. A bit of makeup completed the transformation. Nothing too bold, just enough to enhance the illusion. Standing in front of the mirror, I felt a mix of exhilaration and nervousness. There I was, not as Ryan, the awkward and shy boy I often felt like, but as someone else entirely. In that moment, I was Riley, confident, poised, and free. Lost in the thrill of it all, I didn't hear the front door open. Ryan, a familiar voice called out, breaking the spell. Panic set in as I realized someone was in the house. Mom wasn't supposed to be back for hours. I scrambled to lock my bedroom door, my heart pounding so loudly I could barely think. Ryan, are you home? It's Karen.
Karen.
Mom's best friend. She had a habit of dropping by unannounced, and she was the last person I wanted to see me like this. I froze, unsure of what to do. Maybe if I stayed quiet, she'd think I wasn't home and leave. But Karen was persistent. Your mom asked me to drop off some groceries for her. I'll just leave them in the kitchen, okay? I heard her footsteps moving through the house, then the sound of bags being set on the counter. Relief washed over me. Maybe she'd leave before. Ryan. Her voice was closer now, right outside my bedroom door. I thought I heard someone up here. Are you all right? Before I could respond, the door handle jiggled. My heart stopped. Ryan, the door's locked. Are you okay? I'm coming in, she said, her tone shifting to concern. Without waiting for an answer, she fished out the spare key Mom kept in the hall drawer. Wait, no. I managed to blurt out, but it was too late. The door swung open, and there I was, standing in the middle of the room, fully dressed as Riley. Karen's eyes widened, and for a moment, neither of us said a word. The silence was deafening. I felt exposed, like I'd been caught in the middle of a crime. My face burned with embarrassment as I fidgeted with the hem of the dress, unsure of what to do or say. Ryan, she began, her voice soft but filled with curiosity. What's going on here? I can explain, I stammered, though I had no idea how to begin. My mind raced with excuses, but none of them seemed believable. Karen stepped into the room, closing the door behind her. She didn't look angry or judgmental, just curious. She crossed her arms and leaned against the dresser, giving me her full attention. All right, I'm listening. I hesitated, my throat dry. It's just something I do sometimes. It's not a big deal. She raised an eyebrow. Dressing up like this? You look incredible, by the way. I almost didn't recognize you. Her words caught me off guard. I expected her to laugh or scold me, but there was no mockery in her tone. If anything, she sounded impressed. Thanks, I mumbled, unsure of how to respond. Karen smiled gently and moved to sit on the edge of my bed. You don't have to be embarrassed, Ryan. Or should I call you? Riley, I whispered, barely audible. Riley, she repeated, testing the name on her tongue. It suits you. I looked up at her, surprised by her kindness. You're not mad. Why would I be mad? She asked, tilting her head. Everyone has their own way of expressing themselves. Honestly, I think it's brave of you to explore this side of yourself. Her words were like a balm to my frayed nerves. I felt a knot in my chest loosen, replaced by a glimmer of hope. You really think so? I do, she said firmly. But tell me, does your mom know about this? I shook my head.
No.
She'd freak out. Karen chuckled softly. Your mom can be a bit traditional, but she loves you. I think she'd come around eventually. I wasn't so sure, but I appreciated the sentiment. Please don't tell her, I pleaded. This is just my thing. Karen nodded. Your secret's safe with me. But if you're going to do this, you should do it right. What do you mean? I asked, confused. She stood and walked over to the vanity where my makeup supplies were scattered. Your makeup could use a little work for starters. And that dress is lovely, but it's not doing much to flatter your figure. I stared at her, unsure if she was joking. Are you offering to help me? Why not? She said with a shrug. If you're going to be Riley, let's make sure she shines. What followed was an afternoon unlike any I'd ever experienced. Karen took charge, teaching me how to properly apply eyeliner and blend eyeshadow. She showed me how to contour my face to create softer, more feminine features. When we were done with makeup, she helped me pick out accessories and even suggested a few outfit combinations from my limited wardrobe. By the time we were finished, I barely recognized myself. Riley stared back at me from the mirror, radiant and confident in a way I never thought possible. You look stunning, Karen said, beaming with pride. I mean it, you could pass as a girl, any day. For the first time, I believed her. I felt beautiful, not just on the outside, but inside as well. It was a feeling I'd never experienced before, and it was intoxicating. Thank you, I said, my voice shaky with emotion. I don't know what to say. Karen placed a hand on my shoulder. You don't have to say anything. Just promise me you'll never be ashamed of who you are, okay? I nodded, tears brimming in my eyes. In that moment, Karen wasn't just my mom's best friend. She was my ally, someone who saw me for who I truly was and accepted me without hesitation. The rest of the afternoon passed in a blur of laughter and newfound confidence. By the time Karen left, I felt like a different person. Riley wasn't just a secret anymore. She was a part of me, and for the first time, I felt like that was okay. As I watched her car pull out of the driveway, I couldn't help but smile. The day had taken an unexpected turn, but it had opened a door I never thought I'd walk through. With Karen's support, I felt ready to embrace Riley, not just in the safety of my bedroom, but maybe, one day, in the world beyond. Karen's visit had changed everything. After she left that afternoon, I couldn't stop staring at my reflection in the mirror. Riley wasn't just a fleeting escape anymore. She felt like a piece of me I had finally found the courage to embrace. That night, as I carefully put away the makeup and clothes, I couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and apprehension. Would Karen really keep my secret? Could I trust her to not accidentally slip up around Mom? Over the next few days, I found myself both nervous and eager to see her again. I wondered if she'd bring it up the next time she visited or if she'd pretend it hadn't happened. As it turned out, I didn't have to wonder for long. It was Wednesday evening when Karen stopped by again. Mom was in the kitchen, busy preparing dinner, while I was in my room trying to focus on homework. I heard Karen's cheerful voice carry through the house, followed by Mom's laughter. A few minutes later, there was a soft knock at my bedroom door. Ryan? It's me, Karen, she called. I quickly pushed my books aside, my heart racing. Was she about to out me to Mom? Come in, I said hesitantly. She slipped inside, closing the door behind her. She wore a knowing smile, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Don't worry, I'm not here to cause trouble, she whispered. I just wanted to check in on you. How's Riley doing? I felt my cheeks flush. She's good. Thanks to you. Karen chuckled and perched on the edge of my desk. I couldn't stop thinking about how happy you looked the other day. It was like seeing a whole new person. It felt like that for me too, I admitted. I don't know what to do now. I can't exactly be Riley all the time. No, but you don't have to hide her away either, she said. Have you thought about going out? Just somewhere small, where you can be Riley without worrying about running into anyone you know. The idea terrified me. Go out? Like in public? Karen nodded. You looked so natural the other day. I think you'd pass easily. And sometimes, just stepping out into the world as your true self can be incredibly freeing. I hesitated, the thought both thrilling and intimidating. I don't know. Karen gave me a reassuring smile. Think about it. No pressure. The idea of going out as Riley consumed my thoughts for the rest of the week. I couldn't stop imagining what it would be like to walk down the street, to feel the wind against my legs, to hear the click of my shoes on the pavement. At the same time, the fear of being recognized or judged kept me from taking the plunge. Karen, however, wasn't one to let me off the hook so easily. The following Saturday, she dropped by again, this time armed with a plan. "All right," she said, walking into my room with a shopping bag in hand. "I've been thinking about this all week, and I have an idea." I raised an eyebrow. "What kind of idea?" "Just hear me out," she said, setting the bag down on my bed. "There's a small cafe a few towns over. It's quiet, out of the way, and I doubt you'll run into anyone you know. We can go together, you as Riley, and I'll be there the whole time. It'll be fun." My stomach flipped at the suggestion. "I don't know, Karen. What if someone recognizes me?" "Trust me, they won't," she said confidently. "Besides, I brought a little something to help." She reached into the bag and pulled out a gorgeous teal dress, along with a pair of matching heels and a new wig, a longer, wavy style in a rich chestnut color. "Karen, you didn't have to do this," I said, touched by her thoughtfulness. "I wanted to," she said simply. "Now, come on, let's get you ready." An hour later, I stood in front of the mirror, barely able to believe what I saw. Karen's new wig was stunning, and the dress fit like a dream. She had even brought a set of press-on nails and a delicate silver necklace to complete the look. For the first time, I felt like Riley wasn't just a version of me. She was me. "Are you ready?" Karen asked, her voice gentle but encouraging. I took a deep breath, my heart pounding. "I think so." We left the house together, Karen driving us to the cafe she'd mentioned. The entire ride there, my nerves were on edge. What if someone stared? What if they figured out I wasn't really a girl? Karen seemed to sense my anxiety and reached over to squeeze my hand.
"You've got this," she said.
"Just be yourself. And if anyone asks, you're my niece visiting from out of town." The cafe was as quiet as she'd promised. It was nestled on a side street, with cozy outdoor seating shaded by string lights. As we walked in, I kept my head down, feeling hyper-aware of every glance that came our way. But to my surprise, no one gave me a second look. We found a small table near the window, and as we sat down, Karen leaned in and whispered, "See? Nothing to worry about." The more time passed, the more relaxed I felt. For the first time, I wasn't just pretending to be Riley, I was living as her. I sipped my coffee, chatted with Karen, and even smiled at the barista who brought us our drinks. It was surreal and exhilarating all at once. As we left the cafe, Karen turned to me with a proud smile. "You did it. How do you feel?" "Free," I said, the word tumbling out before I could stop it. "I feel free." That day marked a turning point for me. With Karen's support, I began to explore Riley's world more and more. She taught me how to walk confidently in heels, how to style my hair, and even how to navigate thrift stores for hidden gems. Each step felt like shedding a layer of fear and stepping closer to the person I wanted to be. Of course, keeping it all a secret from Mom wasn't easy. There were close calls, like the time she almost found my wig hidden in the laundry basket, but I managed to keep Riley under wraps. Karen became my confidant, my guide, and in many ways, my biggest cheerleader. One evening, as Karen and I sat in my room talking, she brought up a question I hadn't dared to ask myself. "Riley," she said softly, using the name more often now, "have you thought about what this means for you? Is Riley just a part of you? Or is she you?" The question hung in the air, heavy with meaning. I didn't know how to answer. Being Riley felt right in a way nothing else ever had, but the idea of fully embracing that part of myself was overwhelming. "I don't know," I admitted. "I'm still figuring it out." "That's okay," Karen said, her voice filled with understanding. "There's no rush. Just know that whatever path you choose, I'll be here." Months passed, and with Karen's help, I continued to grow more comfortable in my own skin. I didn't have all the answers yet, but for the first time, I felt like I was on the right path. Riley wasn't just a secret anymore. She was a part of me, and with Karen's encouragement, I was finally learning to embrace her. Looking back on that first day, when Karen had walked into my room and discovered my secret, I realized how much had changed. What had started as one of the most terrifying moments of my life had turned into something beautiful, an opportunity to discover who I truly was. And for that, I would always be grateful. Thank you so much for watching till now. It means the world to have you here. This community is all about empowering each other and celebrating the incredible journeys of everyone on their path to living authentically. If you're ever feeling lost or alone, remember you have a whole family here for you. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and let's keep inspiring each other, sending you all the love and strength in the world. Until next time, live your life by your rules.